traditionally, when we do a Nei Kung unit, we then do flank set training, we do Nei Kung correction. We understand that during the basic training, there's not the time to really deep dive into the different postures and get through the sequence. So that's what this is for. So we pick a posture per class. We will be able to get through all of them, and then we can go back and revisit any ones that you'd like more info on. So we will start at the beginning. Embracing horse. I'm going to read CK2. I think everybody here has this book. If you don't have this book is awesome. We have this book here. We can get it to you. It's coming at you. It's CK2's Book of Nei Kung. In 3D. Well, maybe not 3D, but it's spiral bound. It's got pictures. It really helps you kind of see how you're supposed to get in and out of the sequence. My favorite part, or not favorite, but most helpful graph in the back. It has a graph that tells you how long experience-wise you've been training, and then what kind of repetitions or time you should be looking towards in your home practice. So super helpful resource. Okay. Also at the beginning, he goes through just all those alignment things that we talk about in class. You know, what is the tuck? What is the rounded out knees? All of that stuff he goes into detail. So I know, like, if you're like me, sometimes you would like a refresher. Well, she said that, but what? It's all right here. So for Embracing Horse, first form of Tai Chi, this really is one-stop shopping Tai Chi. So if you don't have time or space to do, say, part of your moving form, if you can do a minute or two of Embracing Horse, you have absolutely done Tai Chi. So you can follow along with him. So stand upright with the top of the head suspended as if by a string. Let the body sink down with the shoulders lowered. The feet should be parallel and close together. Oh, that's right, he steps into it. So just, your feet are already well. The legs should be straight and the knees almost locked. Distribute the weight equally on each leg. This position is called the neutral stance. So yeah, he steps into it like he does some of the other postures. Slow the pace of your breathing and gradually deepen each breath. Continue this relaxed, continuous deep breathing throughout this exercise. And he's talking about belly breathing. So when you do this, try to expand your lower abdomen. Try not to keep your breathing up here. Let your belly be soft. With the head suspended, take one step laterally. You're already there. Allow the body to sink down by bending the knees and tucking the pelvis. Turn the toes in slightly and spread the knees apart, focusing most of the body weight on the heels and outside edges of the feet. The weight should be distributed equally on each leg throughout this exercise. Simultaneously, raise both arms up and forward in a slight arc from behind until they form a circle in front of you with your hands, arms, shoulders, and chest forming a smooth curve, as if encircling a sphere. The palms should face the chest with the fingers slightly stretched. Be sure that the shoulders and elbows are lowered and that the pelvis is tucked. Maintain this posture while remembering to hold the head as if suspended from above. You can lean the torso slightly forward for easier positioning as long as the back is kept straight. You should sense your body pressing down on the floor with most of the weight felt in the heels and outside edges of the feet. The legs should be somewhat bow-shaped to facilitate this weight distribution. If the form is done properly, you should feel pressure on the outside of the thighs. Make sure that no stress is felt on the knees. As a beginner, it should be held from 1 to 3 minutes. You need to come out of it. I know I've been talking a lot. So the 3 key points of this are the head suspended, tucked pelvis, and the relaxation of the body. Caution, if there is stress on the knees, immediately recheck your alignment or ask one of us. We'll help you with that. Making sure that the knees are out and the toes are in. Yeah, so your sense of suspending head and letting the body sink down will aid you in increasing the duration of this exercise. However, you should always have some feeling of discomfort in the thighs, especially towards the end of this form. Avoid the tendency to fidget. When you develop to the point where you do not feel this discomfort, make your stance wider and sink down accordingly. So go ahead and come out. So yeah, that's the thing. You'll hear Senior Head Instructor and I talk about this. It's like, if you're not feeling this, sink down. And it's a good sign. It means you've conditioned yourself at the level you've been, so you can up the ante a little bit. So you guys have had that. You've been doing it. So now I'm going to do it. See if I can get in my best embracing horse. And you guys can. We've got room here. Our alignment's a little different. You can walk around and see any postural observations. Seeing anything?
How far up do the elbows go?
How far up do the elbows come? Good question. So
We've had a discussion about that.
we've had several discussions on this, and the answer is going to be different depending on where you are in your training. So the elbows, when you're learning this, we will tell you elbows down, elbows down, elbows down. Because what we're trying to avoid is this, which is what everybody will do at the start. So we start you, we would be okay with this to start because it's helping to relax these shoulders. Then as you get more comfortable with how this works, it's a rounded, connected, so we all know about sink shoulders, drop elbows. That applies to this, and yet it's a rounded, connected feeling. So it's a rounded, connected feeling provided I've still got my elbows and shoulders sunk. So what I mean by that is, that's not right. In fact, that feels weird. And if I do that with my shoulders down, I feel a weird pull. But then if I lift this, then that naturally wants to lift my shoulders up. So that's not right either. So rounded, connected, lower shoulder, lower elbow, but not collapsed. This is super nitpicky, but what you're ultimately getting towards is the idea of floating your shoulder, your arm bone in the shoulder socket. So it's not just muscular relaxation, it's actually joint relaxation. And that just takes practice to kind of find what feels like that floating point. Does that make sense? Yeah, so that looks really good. And then with, when I first started, I couldn't hold that relaxed way. I felt it burning muscle tension up here. So I was more down here. But now that I've been doing this for 11 years, this feels relaxed to me. That would not have felt relaxed to me when I started. So there's a continuum. Does that make sense?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
So first and foremost, head suspended, sink shoulders, drop elbows, be relaxed. I didn't see anybody here doing it. This is cool, which is excellent on you guys, but no wilty fingers. So relaxed does not mean droopy. It just means supple, swift. So I like to use the houseplant leaf analogy. So imagine, for me, I kind of imagine my hands are like house leaves, because this is not a happy house plant. It's not a happy plant. But plants are also not like this either. I mean, so it's that alert, alive, but not rigid. Does that make sense? Yeah, that looks good. So always imagine that there's it's continuing through your fingertips. So relaxation has a slightly different, that looks very good, excellent. Looks a little different than our it's not couch potato relax. It's sort of that soft, swift. All right? So let's just practice your embracing horse. I know you guys have been doing bits of it. I'll walk around and see if I can add any tips. This looks excellent, Mr. Payne. Just keep everything as it is, but shift your pelvis back a little bit. Yep, a little bit more. There you go. Good. And if that feels off balance, you could sink just a tiny bit more. There you go. Yeah. And then make sure that the weight's in your heels.
Pull the knees out over the toe.
Yeah, no, that's a little too far. So back with the knees, sit back with the hips. There you go. So instead of when you sink, instead of letting the knees come forward, put the seat back. Does that make sense?
Excellent.
So instead of this, it's this, so that my knees stay over my foot, and my hips are what go behind.
Could you do that again?
Hmm?
Could you do that again?
Sure. So, not this, but this.
Gotcha, thank you.
So it's like that kind of sitting on a chair. So the seat goes back, not the knees go forward.
Gotcha.
Yeah, good.
Figure it out.
The chair is good. It's been here as long as I've been here. Excellent, Mr. Watkins. It looks like you're this knee. Get in. Be nice to it. Don't talk smack to it.
It sort of tends to go out.
It does. I see that.
It
So,
doesn't hurt.
well, that's good. Well, it wouldn't. Yeah, it's just you look a little off center. So just relax that knee just a tiny bit more. There you go. Good. I can tell we're all intermediate students here. It's working. Excellent. Really good. Excellent, Mr. Payne. How's it feel? Feel good? Good? Yeah.
Do you have a slight feeling of falling backwards when you put your, like you're sitting in the chair?
Slight feeling of falling backwards. No.
Not an off balance feeling, but like, would be.
And yet, yes, and to counteract that, that's where the proportional fold forward comes.
Gotcha, thank you.
So not the head, get your head suspended, there you go. But so as I sit back, yes, I would be, but I fold forward. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does, thank you.
Yeah, so that's where that relaxation comes in, because if you're relaxed, you'll naturally compensate for it. You naturally aren't gonna let yourself tip, right? So you're relaxed, connected, I sit back, I fold forward. The arms also help with that as well. Good questions.
If you lower,
Uh-huh.
it's just the same. but-
It is, so if you were to get that low, your feet would need to be wider. So, like, yeah, if I were gonna go crazy big, which I would be, no, like, this would never work. But if this is shoulder width, now we're gonna make it big, I would go a little wider with the feet. Otherwise, it ends up being squatty. Does that make sense? All right, and release, shake it out. Any questions about embracing horse? This looks really good.
Thank you.
Good. And did you guys come last night? No. I need to find out what life skills you have. I think it's. Life skills?
I guess we'll come tomorrow.
Tiger, yep. Crane, then leopard, then snake, then dragon. All right. You guys
So I
remember
have to
crane?
demonstrate first.
Yeah, so from the front, just watch because it's backwards. Path of self-mastery requires balanced emotions. Balanced emotions, oh, hang on, I can't do it here. Do not yield, ooh, I can't do it in this room. Path of self-mastery requires balanced emotions. Balanced emotions, there it goes, do not yield to negativity. I have to close my eyes, so. Watch, path of self-mastery requires balanced emotions. Left leg up, balanced emotions. Do not yield to negativity. So just watch it because I'm doing mirror and it's going to mess you up. So there's a hook, and a step, and a strike.
Gotcha.
I'm going to probably do this with my eyes closed again so I don't mess up. Path of self-mastery requires balanced emotions. Balanced emotions do not yield to negativity. The path of self-mastery requires balanced emotions. Balanced emotions do not yield to negativity. One more time. The path of self-mastery requires balanced emotions. Balanced emotions do not yield to negativity. There we go.
On Head Instructor.
Down to intermediate level students. Students at home, full access training is dismissed. Good job, everybody.